Awesome body, 1990s, with a car, with a cell phone. Ilan taon pa na? That's how good friends we are. We joke around and be there for one another. How are you guys?
Good.
Be honest with me, how many here have felt shame in their lives? Hindi lang yung, it's not just nakakahiya. Shame really, like, kunin na ako ng lupa, parang gano'n. There were many, not just embarrassment, right? But it's really shame that I cannot face people. I cannot look at the person's eye. Shame because I gave my word, and yet I wasn't able to fulfill my part of the agreement, of the commitment. How many here have committed to something or to someone before? Raise your hand. Let me ask again. How many owe you? See, you're even ashamed to say it. Right? We make mistakes. I'm so happy we are in this community because we are a room full of people who make mistakes. And yet, we still stand. And yet, we can still I'm going to give you 3 steps to conquer shame. It's again, God delivers us from shame. But we gotta do something about it. Can you nudge the person beside you? Sabihin mo sa kanya, do something about it.
Do something about it.
Sabihin mo sa sarili mo, huwag sa katabi mo, makinig ka.
Makinig.
Usin, makinig ka sa iyo. Number 1, first step is to declare God's sovereignty. Wow, big word. Say it again.
Declare God's sovereignty.
And sovereignty means it is His territory.
Sovereignty.
It is God's territory. This I'm going through is God's territory. You know, let's read how Rahab reacts to the spies when they came to their house. From Joshua 2 verse 8 to 10. And we flash it on the screen and read it together. 8 to 10. Before the spies went to sleep that night, Rahab went up on the roof to talk with them. And she said, I know. Everybody say, I know. I know the Lord has given you this land. Declaring the sovereignty of Jericho under the lordship of God. I know the Lord has given you this land, she told them. We are all afraid of you. Everyone in the land is living in terror. Look, imagine this. Continue. For we have heard how the Lord made a dry path for you through the Red Sea when you left Egypt. So, there's a precedent. There's a story goes before. Tales of great things happening. That's what she heard. She was a good marites. She was a good chismosa. And heard, just heard, not seen, not witnessed. But what she said was very good. This is God's territory. I know. She said, I know the Lord has given you this land. There was no opposition. Everybody say no opposition. There was no opposition. How could a pagan woman decide that and declare that? It must have been steadfast faith. It must have been an experience. It must have been, what do you think? How could a person declare such God's sovereignty in the land, even if you just heard it? What faith she has. Do you feel it? She did it, she declared it, she welcomed them, even if she doesn't see what's ahead, even if she hasn't seen it herself, even if just a week before, this is what she said, what happened. She overheard some women talking about it, and they defeated the army of the Israelites, defeated 2 powerful kings. So continue on, if you can show it on the screen. Let me continue on. She said, and we know what you did to Simon and Og, the 2 Amorite kings east of the river Jordan, whose people you completely destroyed. No wonder our hearts have melted in fear. No one has the courage to fight after hearing such things. For the Lord your God is the supreme God of the heavens above and earth below. Again, Rahab heard about the stories of the God of the Israelites, and she did not see first-hand evidence of him. She did not have any confirmation, proof. She did not verify if it was fake news or not. She believed. She decided to believe. And guys, faith. I'll talk about faith. Hint, hint. It's one way to conquer shame. You listen to God's word and put your faith in Him. In Hebrews 11, it says, faith is described as this: confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. We are hoping for it, we do not see it yet, but in faith we know. We declare, it is the Lord moving in my life. Jesus said in Matthew 17, verse 20, He said, I tell you the truth. Everybody say truth. I tell you the truth. If you had faith, even as small as a mustard seed, you could say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it would move. Nothing would be impossible. Can you say that to the person beside you? Nothing would be impossible.
Nothing would be impossible.
Declare God's sovereignty in your life. Declare that this is God's territory. Believe in the Lord today, and your faith will move mountains for you. When I was 13 years old, I made a personal declaration: Lord, my life is your territory. Do as you will. And then I was single. I was tall, dark. And popular. Just playing with you. But I said, when I was single, I said, Lord, my singlehood, use it for your glory. And I never stopped since. And when I fell in love, committed, fell on my knee and said, Lord, I want to be married. My marriage life is yours. This is your territory. I don't know what lies ahead. I don't know the heartaches. It will happen. What would happen? I don't know if you're going to provide for us, but my hope and my assurance is yours. I believe in you. And when we got married, it was beautiful. God provided. And when we had children, 2 kids, Lord, my children are yours. Big of my head, what is that? We need you. We need you to lead us. We need you to provide for us. And it has been still an ongoing faith journey. Believe, declare, Lord, my business is your sovereignty, is in your sovereignty. Lord, when as a doctor, I can help as much as I could. But there are patients, there are people that I cannot really help further. It's beyond my expertise, it's beyond what I can do. And you know what I say? This is beyond my territory, but I know it is in God's territory. So believe, have faith. Everybody say, have faith.
Have faith.
Declare God's sovereignty. Second, first is declare. Second is you have to draw in. You have to draw in God's messengers in your life. If you want to deal with shame, face the shame straightforward, you gotta draw in God's messengers in your life. You know, in the night that the spies arrived, it was business as usual for Rahab. She was still a prostitute. Haliparmat. Diba? The Bible doesn't mention anything about Rahab's past and etc. We are left to think about it. We're left to just, assume. But I would imagine that Rahab would have been so shocked on her daily business. And it is just one night of her business, and then 3 spies knock on her door. Foreigners. She did not know. And she said in the passage, they were afraid of them. Are you with me? Do you get what I'm trying to say? The 3 spies, foreigners, battle-tested guys knock on her door, and you're a prostitute. How would you feel? But you know what she did? Instead of rejecting them, she let them in. She let them in. There must have been something different about that knock on the door. There must have been something different when she saw them, when she felt their presence. Little did she know that God is doing something in her life. Little did she know that upon that small opening of the door, it will open her life for the goodness and the greatness of God. The presence of God. It's not just the spies, but it's the presence of God coming into her life. Guys, do you dream of something familiar? You have been stuck in your shame, shameful past, shameful situation, shameful personality, if you will. But God comes knocking at your door. God sends messengers to your life, speaking hope, speaking goodness, speaking love to you. Rahab didn't know how to get out of being a prostitute. She didn't know how to get out of her situation. Day in and day out, she would still live in that ugly shame until God knocked on her door. She drew in the messengers of God. God came to her because she wouldn't go to him. She was taken. She didn't believe. She didn't know. And I want you to know that, look at me, if you are unable to go to God, He will be the one who will come to you. Let that be your take-home message. If you cannot, in your shame, cannot go to the Lord, I cannot go to confession. It's Father God. I'm going to go bleed. Lord, it's too shameful. Lord, it's too heavy to bear. Lord, I'm already know. What you want to do is just open the doors of your heart and let God in. Oftentimes, God will even use people to this. Rahab, what did she do? Nothing. She did not attend the seminar. She did not do anything. She did not do sacrifice. She did not do anything. She was at the start. Everybody say at the start. At the start, she just opened her door and let God in. Today, God is knocking at your door. Will you let Him in? Will you get the door open? How wide do you open it for God to come in? God is so powerful that when you sincerely allow Him to work in your life, He can affect change in you instantly and permanently. When you open the doors to God and you experience God, you'll never be the same again. And one thing, think about those spies. Imagine 3 big burly soldiers as spies knocking on their doors. They could have been scary. Yes? True? They could have been scary. But they were unlike any other men who went through the door of Rahab's life. They went in and they did not have anything else. They did not abuse her. They did not take advantage of her. They could have. They didn't. What they did was they were welcomed in. They did what they have to do in terms of their military strategy. And then they are the only ones who came in through Rahab's door and did not come out. They went on the other side and they came out through a window. Everybody say window. Most of Rahab's clients went through the door, and then went out the same door, taking a piece of herself, a piece of her purity with them. how do you know? How do you distinguish that it is God's messenger that is knocking in your life? It is God's message that is said by your brother, sister, friend, family, kasama sa feast, or office mate. How do you know that it is God's messenger that God has sent to you? Well, number one, they're not takers. They will not take advantage of you. Tingin sa katabi. They will not take advantage of you. They come into your life not to receive, but they come into your life to give. Every other person who has come and gone through your life usually takes something from you, away from you even. But guys, only Jesus goes into your life and gives you more than taking more. So receive, join God's messengers and ultimately God's message in the Lord today. Receive the Lord today. I hope that you open the door. Everybody say open. Open the door and let Him in. Thirdly, want to deal with shame? You want to recover and face shame and not live in shame? Number three, you got to display. You got to display the Lord's goodness. Everybody say, display the Lord's goodness.
Display the Lord's goodness.
I'll read it from the Word of God. From still in the same chapter, but verse 17. Read it together with me if you can. Before they left, the men told her, "We will be bound by the oath we have taken only if you follow these instructions. When you come into the land, you must leave this scarlet robe hanging from the window which you let us down." Can you imagine? A scarlet red robe coming through the window through which you let us down. And all your family members, not just her, all your family members, your father, your mother, brothers, and all your relatives must be here inside the house. If they go out into the street and are killed, it will not be our fault. But if anyone lays a hand on people inside this house, we will accept the responsibility for their death. If you betray us, however, we are not bound by this oath in any way. Let me explain. During ancient times, the way that the prostitutes would advertise their business is that they would hang a red or a scarlet robe in front of their house, in front of their door, and say, "Open. Come in and open." Red robe, red light district. You got it? That's in the ancient times. So Rahab hung a scarlet robe on her door every day. And in this way, she is symbolizing her shame, her sin, her, you can argue, her profession. And before the spies instructed her to hang the scarlet robe outside of her window, not on her door. Remember, I wasn't able to say this, but the goal of the Israelites is to conquer the city, to get inside the city, to plan ahead. That's why the spies are going to strategize. So, look at this. There's a red scarlet robe to show that the prostitute is open for business. And the spy said, "No. You put that red scarlet robe in the window." And if you notice in the word, Rahab's house was by outside the wall of the city. And I want you to imagine me, who would be passing by? Who would be the ones interested to pass by the street where you'll see a door hanging with a red robe? But the spy said, use that red scarlet robe, hang it by the window. And if it's going to be outside the wall, everybody sees that that is a scarlet robe. Do you get to see it? Do you get what I'm trying to tell you? That's how God works. It's going to be seen by the whole city. It's going to be seen by the whole world. And check out how God works in very amazing ways. What was once a symbol, the red scarlet robe, what was once a symbol of personal shame became a symbol of salvation for the whole entire nation. Your shame can also be transformed. Did it change? What did the scarlet robe change? It was still the scarlet robe, but God can use it differently and have it around in a different way. And instead of showing your shame, it will show your salvation. God can use your shame and transform it into a symbol of salvation for the world to see. Just like Ollie, I have my past, I still have my present, and I am a sinful person. Like you. Welcome home. This is a house full of sinners trying to follow God in our own simple ways. But I kid you not, even our shamefulness, God uses to heal others. Even in our weakness, God becomes strong so that it inspires other people. Can I ask you to stand, please? Let me recap. 3 steps to conquer shame. Declare God's sovereignty. Draw in God's messengers. Display the Lord's goodness. Rahab. Rahab's life is an inspiration. Rahab. How many of you it's the first time to hear about Rahab? Raise your hand. Fantastic. I love that we get to really well with the Bible. Rahab's life. Rahab was an inspiration. But you know, that wasn't always the case. Once upon a time, society saw her as an unclean, sinful, shameful, nakakahiya, undeserving sinner. That could have been her sad story. We sometimes are viewed by the world like Rahab. Simple, unclean, shameful. And yet, Rahab's life made a powerful impact. And actually, if you go thousands of years later, I am not kidding, if you look into the word from Hebrews 11, and it said, great examples of faith. This is the passage, the Bible chapter that shows the hall of fame, the hall of heroes of faith. It said, Abel, Enoch, Noah, Abraham, Sarah, who's there? It was Abraham was there, Isaac was there, Jacob was mentioned, Joseph was mentioned, Moses was mentioned. And then, here it is. The next verse gives us the answer. From verse 31. It was by faith that the people of Israel marched around Jericho for 7 days and the walls came crashing down. It was by faith that Rahab, the prostitute, was not destroyed with the people in her city who refused to obey God. For she had given a friendly welcome to the spies. It was faith. It was her faith to open the door. It was her faith to welcome them in. Even it appeared to be dangerous. Even if it was unfamiliar. Even if it showed her shame. Faith, just like all the different heroes mentioned, just like Rahab, it saved her family. It saved her life. It saved her family. It meant the welcoming, that opening of the door saved the entire nation of Israel. Because one person opened her door. Maybe you will be used by the Lord, despite your shame. And in your openness, healing will flow in your family. Abundance. You will be the one that will open the door to your generation to your plan that no more poverty, no more negativity, no more hurting, and it will be replaced with blessing, healing, abundance. Guys, don't underestimate the power of your faith. It was the most extreme example that the display of God's love for us was shown by that faith in us. And He gave His only Son. He knew He will suffer. He will die for the love of us. But in God's hands, God's love, it doesn't end in death. There is always new life. There is always a garden that we will go home to. Your story is not yet over. God's story in your life is not yet over. So today, palapakan natin ang Lord. And I want you to declare the goodness of God. I want you as we come into worship and say, Lord, I am ready to open the door. Lord, come, shape my life, transform my life, save me.